So let me guess, have you ever heard the phrase, no one reads books anymore, books are dead? Who wants to read a book? If that were true, books would not continue to rake in millions of dollars in revenue today, and the publishing industry would be non-existent. But the fact is that this simply isn't the case. It's a really common misconception in the business world that people think that they can just publish anything and call themselves an author and get the clients rolling in. They believe that no one reads books anymore, so why should it matter what actually is in my book? It's so not true. If you're going to write a book, I want to help you do it strategically and do it the right way to attract clients and customers year in and year out, and increase your reputation as a business or a brand. In this video, I'll walk you through the best practices for creating an industry standard book. But before I do, I've included some resources and services in the links below to help you get started right away. So click down there and then keep watching this video. So there's a little bit of confusion about the word read, because what's really happening when someone reads a book is that they're consuming information. So when you consume information, that can come from a lot of different places in a book. It can come from reading the book cover to cover, and that's what people think. They think, oh, nobody reads books anymore because nobody sits down and starts at page 1 and reads all the way through to the end and finishes a book and says, there, I read a book. But that's not really what reading a book is. Reading a book is taking in and consuming information that is presented, and then you make a judgment call as to how much more you want to consume. So what that means is if you have a book that is out there, and it's maybe we come across it on a Facebook ad or on Amazon, and all that person sees is the front cover. They're going to consume that front cover information just by taking it in through their eyes, and in a matter of seconds, they're going to judge whether they want to continue even looking at that book. Now, they're going to judge your title, your subtitle, your cover design. Does it look professional, or does it look like it was homemade? Does it look like, somebody who didn't know what they were doing was putting it together? They're going to judge your business and you as an expert based on just that tiny little bit of information. Then what do? If that information says, ooh, yeah, that looks intriguing, I kind of want to dive into that. Let's check it out. They're going to flip over to the back cover. That's the second thing people are going to do. When they look at the back cover, all the copy on the back cover is sales copy. That's the job of the back cover, is to get people to consume that information and then decide they want to go further. They want to go one step further than that. So if that back cover does its job, it's going to make the person open the book. Even if it's just on Amazon and they're clicking on look inside, they're still going to go into the book and they're going to look at the table of contents. The table of contents is the single most important sales tool your book has if you do it right. It can just be a list of chapters and chapter titles and page numbers, or it can actually be a sales tool that helps the person understand what they're going to learn, what results they're going to be able to get when they finish reading the book. And if you craft that table of contents carefully, that's all you need to do to sell that book. But you've got to get them to consume the front cover and the back cover and open up. Otherwise, they've already judged you. They've said, nope, don't want to read that one, right? And then once you've got a great book, you've got a cover, you open it up, they look at the table of contents, and then they're going to just start flipping through. They're going to just open up a random page and start reading, because they want to see if it's engaging. They want to see if it's going to be easy to read and easy to understand, and is there anything here that just grabs my attention? And so the way that you need to make sure that happens is to make it readable. Right? You don't want to have big walls of text. You want to have lots of white space. You want to have short paragraphs, short sentences. Make it easy and light and fun to read, even if it's a heavy or a dry topic. You still want to make sure that the writing, the crafted writing, is done in such a way that it's easy to read and easy to understand. Once they flip through and they're like, oh, this is actually interesting and good, they're going to go back to the beginning and start reading your book. Now notice that there's consuming at every stage and there's judging at every stage. When you're tying your name and your brand to a book, that means that they're judging your business as well. If they decide that, oh, this looks homemade and it's not very well written, I don't really think I'm gonna bother with it. Well, what do you think that says about your company? How are they gonna feel about your brand when they see it somewhere else when they know that the book wasn't very good. So when you say that nobody reads books anymore, you have to think about the fact that they're going to form an opinion about you, whether it's good or bad, even if they only look at the cover. So what does that mean? Does that mean you shouldn't write a book? No. That means that you shouldn't write poorly written or, I don't want to say inferior books, but substandard books. You want to make sure that if you write a book, it's worth reading, right? Doesn't mean it has to be, super high level words. You don't have to use, really long sentences. You don't have to sound like you're some Harvard professor who is handing down, the 10 Commandments from on high or something. You just need to make sure that it's a conversation between you and the reader, and you're conveying information in an easy to understand way. And when you do that, they will read the book. They will read all the way through, and they will follow up on your calls to action, and they will be excited and pre-sold on working with you. So when you're on that front cover, what do you need? You need to have a professional design. Yes, it should look like a book that you could find in a bookstore, but more importantly, your title needs to be catchy, and it needs to include some keywords that are going to help that reader clue into what this book is about. It's wonderful if you can include search keywords in your subtitle, not necessarily your title, but at least your subtitle, so that when people are searching on Amazon, which is a search engine, they'll be able to find your book. It's more likely to come up in the search results if you include the keywords that are relevant for the book and relevant for your business. So that back cover is a sales piece. It sells people on buying the book. Now, what do you want to put on that back cover? Some people want to put just some sales copy. They want to put a headline. This is my formula for a back cover. You have a nice benefits-driven headline first, and then you have a short paragraph that summarizes the book. You have a few bullet points, maybe 4 or 5, that tell the person what they're going to learn or what they're going to be able to do once they read the book. And then they have a little summary at the bottom. Sometimes people will put an about the author at the bottom. That's for an unknown author who does not have a lot of endorsements, or people who have read the book and are willing to review it. If you have a lot of endorsements, especially if those endorsements are people who are well known in your industry or are big names, you want to include those endorsements on that back cover, because those are third-party social proof that you know what you're talking about and that the book is good. So it's your choice. If you have endorsements, very often a lot of books they'll just have endorsements on the back, and that's it. Sometimes you're going to want to put a little bit of sales copy. Sometimes you're going to want to have a full headline, paragraph, and bullet point format. It's all up to you, but remember that whatever it is that you're doing, you're trying to sell the next step, which is to open the book. So if you want to just throw together a book for the sake of calling yourself an author because you think nobody reads anymore, I can't really help you. But if you want to follow a tried and true method for writing a completely original book, a book that will bring in clients and scale your business and expand your visibility, I have the resources you need in the link below. So click on down.